Elected TV Radio, we dare to lead. Elected TV Radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen. This is radio like you never heard before. Elected TV Radio, the pathfinder for radio. Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Team Director and you're listening to Elected TV Radio. Stay tuned. Elected TV Radio, we dare to lead.
Ayo. Yeah. Yeah. Gonna talk about my All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elected TV Radio. My name is Adafi Matthew. You love to call me the Elected One of Sports. How was your weekend? How are you doing? Yes, a whole lot happened within the Nations League space. That's not what I'm going to talk about. There's somebody here in the studio that will talk about it. But I have a question for you guys who are on Instagram, on YouTube, and if you want to, if you're listening online, wherever you're listening to us from. How? So let me build a background to this. England have not had a coach half as good or half as successful, let's not use the word successful, half as progressive as Gareth Southgate since 1966. Many people listening to me this morning were not born then, even me wasn't born then, since 1966. And 6 years ago, England was all bollock, rubbish, shit. In between that time and now, England have played in the semi-finals of the World Cup, played in the finals of the Euros, and somehow Gareth Southgate is facing all the criticism. It's 55 days, if I'm correct. It's 55 days, 7 hours, and 55 minutes to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And somehow, the English national team are somewhat in disarray. Good thing is they are in Group B. They have Iran, USA, and Wales. If they can't come out, if they can't pull themselves out of that group and come out top or second and qualify for the next round, then maybe the conversation will be worse. I mean, you can look at other groups where you have teams like France, Denmark, Tunisia, Australia, or Spain, Germany, Japan, Costa Rica, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. These are groups that are brimming with fire. And then there is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Croatia. There is Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I'm talking about Cameroon. I've got questions on that front as well. But now let me start with the England. Do you think that the England fans are right to be shredding Gareth Southgate right now, tearing him into pieces? What has happened to that team that went all the way to the finals of the Euros and lost in penalties? What has happened to that team that went all the way to the semi-finals of the World Cup and lost? Okay, Gareth Southgate just gone bad all of a sudden. That's one question to answer. Second question I need you guys to look into. Cameroon were beaten blue, black, and red over the weekend by who? Uzbekistan. They're not on the football map at all, but they beat Cameroon. We can talk about Ghana, but when I saw Brazil beat Ghana the way they did, I was heartbroken. I wasn't heartbroken because they beat Ghana. I was heartbroken because I looked at that team and I said to myself, is this the Ghana that beat us? I'm not saying that Cameroon will not beat this our team. After all, a B team of Algeria drew 2-2 with us. So I'm not going to sit here and play Nigeria is better than Ghana. If Nigeria is better than Ghana, we'll be at the World Cup right now. But we're not better than Ghana. So I'm not even in that conversation. But I'm just saying, if you beat us, you should do a little bit. It had be better. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So, a question. Samuel Eto'O, the Cameroonian, the Fecafoot president, said that Cameroon will get to the finals of the World Cup. Damn. Then, when people go from players to administrators, is there something? Did they initiate them into a cult of madness, of insanity? I don't know. But I need your opinion on this. You guys are my analysts, my co-presenters, and everything. Samuel Eto'o says no cause for alarm. Cameroon is still on course to get to the finals of the World Cup. What says you? The English fans are shredding Gareth Southgate, their best coach since 1966. What is your opinion on that matter? I know that Graham Potter is being primed as they want to take over from Gareth Southgate. Okay, that's why all the media hype around him, all the talk about him. But let's stick with the one that is on the job right now and see what says you. But then before I come up with all the conversation around it, as I give you guys time, let's look at the headlines and the stories that we've got today. But beside that, I also have my guy in the building. Okay, wonderful guy who's growing in leaps and bounds, and who to me, I believe, would be one of the very, very best in the not too distant future. Benedict Eki. Benedict, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for bringing me on. It's a real big pleasure to be here. Man, I'm happy. Weekends are always something most people look forward to. Some most people don't. But ever since when I've been born, weekend is something to look forward to. I'm just happy.
How was your weekend?
On my weekend was first.
Saw you at the graduation.
Yes,
I got an award of recognition. The management of Boys Nigeria and the staff of the Beat Academy are pleased to award Matthew Daffy. I love this is my Grammy. This plaque of honor in recognition of your outstanding contribution, many years of visionary guidance, and exceptional leadership in mentoring our students. We are grateful and we say a big thank you.
Well, if you didn't know, you are the only one all the students stood up for when you were introducing everybody.
Yeah, I think I noticed that, and it was nice. It was nice. You know, the thing is about when you make, people when before now people would say, why are you spending so much time doing free work pro bono? But I said to them that look, those kids remind me of when I was growing up, and the reason why I turned out not to be on the wrong side but be on this side is because many people came through for me. So what I'm just doing, I call it running God's errand. I'm coming through for them. And it's been doing that since 2016. And it's been very, very wonderful. It's been nice. And I'm happy. I'll keep doing it. We've had this set graduate now. The next set will come up, start from October. And I'll be there. Hopefully, I'll go to the World Cup in Qatar. Hopefully, I'll go to the World Cup in Qatar. And for that period, I'll miss out on attending my Wednesday classes. But then when I come back again, I'll be out there. And I hope I go there so that I can bring some souvenir for maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 students, depending. And also the viewers of our show, the fans, the viewers and listeners of our show as well. And maybe 1 or 2 members of the Elevator TV family group, group that I don't take for granted. I'll come back to you for reports on the Nations League, some goal scorers, but then Zlatan Ibrahimovic is in the movies. Okay, that's a good one. For Anthony Joshua, today is D-Day. Sign the contract today or forget the fight. Mayweather still not lost it. He knocked out the Japanese guy in an exhibition fight, sorry. A whole lot. And then there is scandal brewing in the MBB of C. Scandal like this. Scandal is cooking. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that story anyway. I'm working behind the scene for now, trying to broker peace, trying to broker proper peace and order. But if they don't accept it, okay, we'll smash the table down. So let's go to the headlines of the stories that we have today. Don't forget that our news segment is packaged and well put together by the amazing and indefatigable and irreplaceable Timothy Deibo. And Timothy's got articles across different websites. You might as well follow him on Twitter. I think I can have his Twitter handle and give it to you at TMT something. I'll check and then I'll get it to you. Or probably Timothy Deibo will send it to me. Or probably whenever he's putting the story together, he should put his social media handles on at the bottom so that I can read it out during the show. Having said that, these are the headlines for today's news segment. Talk about Olusegun pens emotional message to the Rangers fans as he departs the club. You want to know what Rangers is that? Glasgow Rangers, what of Queen's Park Rangers, whatever Rangers it is. 120 players invited for screening exercise at Katsina United Football Club. This is preposterous. This is ridiculous. This is insane. Nigerian Beach Soccer League Super 4 gets new date. Okay? And Samuel Eto'O remains optimistic Cameroon will reach the Mundial final despite loss to Uzbekistan. Tell you. And then Joshua says he will sign the contract to fight Tyson Fury. So we'll wait for that to happen as we count the clock, because today is actually deadline day. And the contract, according to Tyson Fury, the contract is not signed today. Then there's not going to be the Battle of Britain. But beyond that, he's gone on to tell Derek Chisora that, let me say it, he said it in English, but it will sound well in pidgin English. Hey, Derek, you know rich. I don't need to train to fight you. I will fight you in between fight. Like, as I fight Joshua, that time when they take break, I go and knock you out. They'll just bring you in, I don't go my break, I'll knock you out, I'll come back again and focus on Joshua. That is what Tyson Fury told Derek Chisora. If you are Derek Chisora, how do you respond to that? How do you respond to that? Those are the many questions that I want us to say. So let's go to the news. As Rangers captain Tope Olusegun has sent an emotional farewell message to Rangers International of Enugu and fans after his departure. Olusegun, who's also the skipper of Nigeria Super Eagles Team B, on Sunday announced his departure and also thanked the club for the enormous support in the past years. The right back joined the club in 2016 from Heartland and helped the club to their first league title in 32 years. He also won a Eto'O Cup in 2018. Some people just come and the environment just changes, okay, from bad to good. In a post on his social media page, he said, "It was so hard for me to compose this message because it hurts me so much to part ways with a great team and family like Enugu Rangers Football Club that is giving me so much love and platform in my career. In life, change are always constant, but it won't stop the never say die blood running in my vein because it has become part of my lifestyle." I just want to say a big thank you to the government of the state, the management, the coaching crew, the players, and the great supporters of Enugu Rangers. They are called the 12th man. It was a great pleasure putting on the colors of this great team and having the opportunity to have led one of the greatest teams in the whole of Africa. I am truly grateful and blessed. I wish the team well in all their endeavors. Okay, that's a very good one. But then again, it's a departure from what we used to have. So players are now penning farewell messages and the rest. Timothy Dehimbo's handle is TMT_Dehimbo. Dehimbo is spelled DEHINBO. Okay, so search for him and follow him. You would thank me for it. He writes on www.elevatortv.com. He also writes for other websites and is a person. It's a young man of diverse skills. That's the kind of person you want to have in your future plans. Like you want to go into the future with people like him because it's brilliant. He's a brilliant young chap. And most times we talk about the young Nigerians that are not doing right. This is one kid. Hey, one kid. What kind of English is that? That are you okay? My mother don't speak English like Victor Malalufo. Okay. This is a one kid. Okay. This is a kid that you would love to have as a friend. A soft-spoken, very gentle, nice guy. Right? So let's go to Katsina and see miracles that are performing in Katsina. This is what they used to do in the 80s and 70s and 60s, maybe 90s. Now, 120 players. Don't you have a scouting department? Don't you just go and scout the players that you need and move on? Well, people decide to stick with the old ways. There is nothing wrong, but I think it's ridiculous. It's stressful. It shows a bad side to the game for us. The management of Nigerian National League side, Katsina United, are set to commence preparation for the opening 2022-2023 season. The team had a dreadful outing in the 2021-2022 Nigerian Professional Football League season, having finished 17th on the log and were unable to avoid relegation, getting relegated to the NNL. The management on Sunday announced that they have invited 120 players to kickstart the team screening exercises. Jesus Christ, that would last for a week to screen 120 people. Okay, according to the team director Saleh Yusuf, players were invited across 34 local governments of the state and also from the team feeder. If for that, why would you invite your feeder team players to come for screening? If they're your feeder team, then you already have technical reports, you already have every update about them, you know everything about them. So why show up and put them through that pressure of screening with outsider? If they are your feeder team, then you already have all their details, their data, what they're doing, how they're playing. Why screen them? That I don't understand. But hey, it is their way. So let's just go. If I said that they aim to revamp the team ahead of the new season and allow the locally based players to display their talent. The screening exercise will run from the 28th of September to the 6th of October 2022. Okay, starts in 2 days' time, no problem. So let's go have some beach soccer league matters. Okay, the Nigerian Beach Soccer League, NBSL, Nigerian Beach Soccer League organizers have announced a new date for the commencement of the suspended Super 4 League to determine the season's champion. Why did they suspend it in the first place? The final round of the 2022 Nigerian Beach Soccer League season was initially scheduled for June, but it didn't happen. In a statement signed by Mahmoud Hadija, the league coordinator, on Sunday evening, the NBSL Super 4 is expected to now hold from the 7th to 9th of October 2022, with the venue to be communicated soon. Just a few days away, you still don't have a venue that you are communicating. Well, this is Nigeria, so anything goes. I'm not surprised anyway. Okay. Following deliberations and consultation, the board of the Nigerian Beach Soccer Association has fixed October 7th to 9th, 2022 as a tentative date for the NBSL Super 4 finals. It is therefore advised that qualified teams commence preparation, while further details about the venue, including accommodation, shall be communicated as soon as possible. Qualified teams for the Super 4 are Badagry Warriors, B Soccer, BSC, okay, Kada BSC, Kebbi BSC, and Smart City BSO. Smart City also have one, okay. The current holders of the title won last year in Kaduna are Kebbi B Soccer Club, okay. So let's move. Samuel Eto'O speaking in a language that I don't understand. I don't know if you guys understand, but if you guys understand, tell me what you understand there. Samuel Eto'O has insisted Cameroon will reach the finals of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, despite Friday international friendly loss to Uzbekistan. Cameroon suffered a 2-0 loss to Uzbekistan on Friday, but Cameroon's FA president Samuel Eto'O feels believe the African country will remain focused on the objective. We really wanted to see the reaction of the team, and for the first time, I hope for Cameroon to lose a 2-2 CRTV. Really? Okay, our objective is still the same, to depart Qatar on the evening of December 18, the date of the World Cup finals. We won't lose sight of our objective, he said. Okay, let's hope so.
Saying you will win
they'll get to the finals.
World Cup, say Raptors tomorrow for me.
But Rapture can be tomorrow, actually.
No, Raptors not tomorrow.
But Rapture can be tomorrow.
Rapture is more.
Do you have a date for it?
Time from now.
Do you have a date for Rapture?
I don't.
Okay.
But it's not.
Okay. Cameroon will play against Switzerland, Serbia, and Brazil in group stage of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Cameroon have a poor record of 6 defeats from 6 games in the last 2 World Cup appearances. But right now, this man says all that talk is BS. They are going to go all the way to the finals. Anthony Joshua insists. He even had to do a rap song. He had to do a rap and use the F word in it. Anthony Joshua insists he will sign the contract to fight Tyson Fury after the WBC champion issued an ultimatum if they are to put together their all-British heavyweight battle this year. Fury called for Joshua to sign the contract on Monday, or otherwise he will walk away from the deal. Fury, speaking to his promoter Queensbury, said, "We'll know by Monday anyway if the super fight is on, because if it's not done by Monday, I'm moving on." Joshua, in his response to that, took to social media in a video post and said the contract will be signed. "It is not my hands, it's with the legal team. That's why you hire lawyers," right? Yeah, I agree. You know the history of boxing. Make sure you get your legal terms right. Of course, I am going to sign a contract if it's just some lawyers at the minute. Okay, let's just hope that everything go the way it's supposed to go, and the fight comes. I want to see that fight. I'm putting my money on Fury, but then again, that school of thought crossed my head, and I'm thinking about it all seriously. And what's that thought that crossed my head? The thought is, what if Fury looks at it and says, okay, you know what? I want to do a trilogy. Okay, and then they go behind the side and say, you know what? Let's fight the first fight and have a draw. Then the second fight, you beat me, right? And then we'll come for the third fight. So we make more money. I'm just thinking because it does look to me like everything in boxing is prearranged. Okay.
No, that's boxing is a bit more
real. Yeah, it look a bit. It still look real. Does not really mean it real. Okay. Somebody has poured milk in a glass of cold water and is drinking it, and somebody from church saw him and went and told pastor that I saw that brother drinking palm wine. It looked like palm wine. Does not make it palm wine. I'm just saying. So I don't know, but I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and watch how things move in that regard. But for you guys out there, you guys are my jury. What do you think? Do you think that this fight is just gonna go the normal way, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua? Yeah, I think that Anthony Joshua cannot beat Tyson Fury, and I think that the distance between his fight with Usyk and this Tyson Fury fight is too close. It just does not work like that in boxing. So this is going to change. Yeah, we know that the British people are trying to take boxing from America and make the UK the headquarters of boxing in the world. But I mean, the Ukrainians will not agree with that because they will have a say so. But they want to make boxing a European thing and no longer an American thing. I can understand too, because even the Americans are not really killing themselves over boxing anymore. There is rap music, there is social media, there is podcasting. There's a whole lot of things.
Basketball and cricket. They are good to go.
No, they don't play cricket in America, NFL.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so the American football. So when you look at all of that, you say to yourself, could this be the era where the British people take over boxing again? Well, let's jump away from that. Let's keep that in the eyes while I still wait for the response of the audience that are out there. Now, let's talk about.
He also called me like why the new Chelsea owners Todd Boehly are actually Americans, because Americans are kind of storming the English Premier League team, but football is not really a team right from their own country. So I'm just totally surprised. But since it's happening, it better happen for good.
But business is their thing, entertainment is their thing, and football is business, football is entertainment. So you're going to have to look at it from that perspective. But that said, how did the Nations League in Europe go over the weekend? France still looking like they are a terrible team. They lost 2-0. England going from good to bad. And Belgium lost to the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. The world's team have been relegated.
Yes.
Germany playing England today, 7:45. Okay. So give me updates.
I'm breathing very, very deep because a lot has happened, especially France. There's this report like France, they have come to dance and a lot of things. But France really lost. Their players were totally average. Mbappe, the king of the world, just wasn't there. Surprisingly, Griezmann was what came into the game more than he has been doing for the past 11 years. But Olivier Giroud surprisingly didn't really come to the party. The whole Madrid players, Camavinga,
doesn't always come to the party.
Yeah, the whole Camavinga and Tchouaméni, they're still trying to ensure their place in the squad. So they're actually doing everything they did. Camavinga, he had a shot on goal a lot of times. Tchouaméni to providing, but most surprising is that they still had to lose. The Danish team just were better in that particular game.
Should we be worried about this Danish team going to the World Cup? Because a lot of people seem to want to underrate them. But I spoke to a former teammate of mine who's a journalist now in Denmark, and I was asking him, and he was talking about Eriksen, Damsgaard, Mikael Damsgaard, and the other players, and that Denmark should be underrated at your own peril. When you saw that Denmark team, is there something that you have to tell the teams that are in the same group with Denmark? Group this same France will play France again at the World Cup. They are in Group D with France, Tunisia, and Australia. Is Denmark the team to beat in that group?
Well, the thing is, the whole Danish performance. If you saw the Euros, that said it a lot. Even though Eriksen fainted and then he died, they still went far. And Eriksen is like literally 1+10 for the entire team.
Yeah.
Except with the likes of Christensen, Nordgaard, and the rest. But the Danish team, when at all odds, it wasn't easy. But I feel like the Danish team have been underrated. Their league has been underrated. Copenhagen, Aalborg. I just know those teams from playing games, and apart from Copenhagen, they are really popular in the Champions League. But their league has been underrated. I think it's just their era to just come out and show the world what they really are.
Okay, let's hope that they deliver on that promise and the rest. But what's your take home? The English national team, they seem to be fumbling at a very wrong time. It's 55 days to the FIFA World Cup. They have one more window before the World Cup. That's somewhere in October, if I'm not mistaken. It's October or November. October, yeah, next month. After that, it goes straight to the World Cup. This is an unusual World Cup. We've not seen in November, December World Cup ever. This is an unusual one in a very small country that beats England, France, Germany, America to the hosting right. That's all water under the bridge now. Looking at this English team, do you think that there's redemption? Like they can go to the World Cup and put all this behind them? After all, they're in a very easy group. England are in the group with some of the easiest opponents you can play against. Where they get? But I know that they're in the same group with Iran, USA, and Wales.
Yeah,
in Group B.
in same group with USA. That was very good. But the major problem of England in the English national team is who are their starting players? Who are their best? Let's not even say was starting. Who are their best players? Because a lot of people say the English Premier League will become a league where all the English players are actually going to be on the bench. Because just since
it's getting there.
it's getting the Brazilians, Italians, and all of that just coming. So it just means that the English national team need to step up. They have a lot of players, countless number of players, although you know how the English players make it look to all the other person. And that's why you've just been like James Madison, Ben Chilwell, Jadon Sancho. All of a sudden, you see these players that could be like 300 million. You see Jude Bellingham this season. We're getting almost all the teams next season are planning on signing him for a price of
nobody's trying to sign him. This is the press just manipulating things.
So that is the thing that has been a major setback for the English national team, especially the press. The press hasn't been on their side for the national team. Basically, they went to Qatar and they've not put the national team in the really best of lights. For me, they need to Kaisagi needs to find his best team, especially that creative midfielding role. And
who would you put in center defense for England? And who would you play
problem
in the creative midfield position? Because for me, they don't seem to have those quality anymore.
Harry Maguire should not be getting the nods for that guy. No,
Ben White didn't get invited, but Harry Maguire came in. Mason Mount, you want to play in the World Cup and you're banking on Mason Mount as your creative man or Jude Bellingham as it's not really. Well, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes.
For me, I think Eric Dyer, who plays at Tottenham, should really. He has not been today's hot, today's cold, but he should get the nod. But his partner is where the biggest crisis comes. For me, John Stones should get it, although those are still not best. Maybe when they play with someone who's better than them, tend to cover them like Rafael Varane. But John Stones should get it. Every other place, for me, Jack Grealish in the creative midfield role.
Let's not talk about Jack Grealish now. So let me go to the conversation coming from the people out there. It's as important as whatever it is we're saying here. And the day started with Mr. Smiles saying, "Good morning, Elegate. Good morning to you, bros." And then he went on to say, they don't just like the boring football he plays, and most of the players he selects. Okay, talking about Gary Southgate, why the English fans are against him. And then when I say secondly, his successes in those tournaments were not from beautiful style of play. It's most set pieces that builds them out. Okay, this conversation of beautiful play is how we sacked Ganatrol and see where he brought us. Would you rather have beautiful football? Let me come to you here. Would you rather have beautiful football or have a winning team?
Very tough. Because as much as I love the Premier League, we still have beautiful football from the biggest sides. But it means their own beautiful football comes with wins and what the fans expect them to see. Nigeria has.
But if you're pressed to the wall and you just have to pick only one,
I'll choose beautiful football. I'm a fan of beautiful football.
So you don't care whether you lose?
No, I don't care. I've been living with losing national team games since forever.
You just sounded like your age. I understand. Mr. Smiley says, but the main issue is the player selection, like you said, Benedict. For the English fans, Brazil is looking at taking few defenders and a lot of attackers. But Southgate is taking 15 right back, bros.
That brings me to
your exaggeration, is the highest.
That brings me to a question to you. Franklin Bob said Trent AlexanderArnold is a championship defender, and I don't know what do you feel about that.
No, I don't think Trent AlexanderArnold is that bad. But this is what happens when you start comparing players with people you have no business comparing them with. That's what happened to Hazard, to Walcott, Jack Wilshere, even this Jack Grealish now, and a lot of people. Let people just be themselves. So this guy is good, he's fine, but don't tell me he's better than Cafu. When guy never said that, and I said, wait a minute, are you serious? Cafu? You mentioned Cafu and Trent Alexander-Arnold in the same sentence. You're practically going to kill the boy. And since he made that comment, Trent Alexander-Arnold have never been the same again. There are something that will just make the gods come against you. And those are the kind of comparisons. But championship defender, I think that's a tad bit too far, right? But you know, another thing that I like is when people say this from overseas, it is seen as okay. If Edafe was the one that said it about maybe a Nigerian defender or a Nigerian or Alex Iwobi, the response will be you are beefing them. And I don't know why that happens. But hey, that's the job of an analyst. So you could use what you could say things the way you are from your own perspective. Like I can understand Frank Leboeuf. So World Cup winning defender. He's got the right to tell you Trent Alexander-Arnold is earned the right to say what he said. And I'm not going to argue with him. But then in my own position, in my own defense of Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think he's good enough to play in the Premier League, to play where he's playing right now. He's just gone off in the last 1 year. I'm not just saying it's the entire Liverpool team. Frank Leboeuf wouldn't have said that when he was helping Liverpool to win the league title, helping them to get to the finals of the UEFA, even though they lose, going to the finals of Champions League, they lost in Kiev, and then coming back again to win it against Tottenham Hotspur. You wouldn't say that. So if he was good enough to be top-level defender, fullback at the time, then we should hold it. But then comparing it, it's like saying, Brazilians will not even say Marcelo is Roberto Carlos. No. So sometimes, or Dani Alves, as good and as successful as he is Cafu. So sometimes we should tailor that, tamper this comparison, because sometimes it's really what hurts people and get people to say, okay, let me highlight his fault and his wrongs to you. Just like when they said, some coach said Eden Hazard is not better than Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. I was like, wait a minute. That's when I really started, okay, let me start pointing out to you what is wrong about this guy as a football player. So I think it is the wrong comparison that brings that. Amazing Christian says, good morning, boss. Good morning to you. What happened to your voice? My voice, it's a whole lot of factors, a whole lot of shouting, talking, a whole lot of factors, okay? Crying as well, but a whole lot of factors. For England, I feel like they are on the right path and to end trophy draft. But if they decide to press the self-destruct button, it's up to them. And I think that English football have come some good way, some good miles lately. Their women team won the Euros. Women football in England is on the very, very high end. Just this weekend, over 50,000 people bought ticket to watch Arsenal women trash the Tottenham team. Women 4-0. But